Trial Tuesday once again today. We're discussing a case out of Myrtle Beach. A young woman named Heather Elvis disappeared back in December. A couple has recently been charged with her murder. Attorney David Aylor, no stranger to high-profile case like this one, weighs in with us now on Low Country Live. Counselor, thank you so much for being here. This case, obviously, a lot of people following it. Headlines made earlier this week when they arrested that couple, now charged with murder.
Right. This is a case that since she went missing, that Miss Elvis went missing back in December, it really has just continued to get a lot of attention locally in the Myrtle Beach area as well as nationally on Facebook and a lot of social media sites. So a lot of people have been following it, and I think outside of that, of course, the police have been looking at it seriously from the very beginning, and now we have an arrest, although we haven't gotten all the details.
Horry County Police announced that arrest just a couple of days ago right now. The thing is that they have evidence linking those two people, but they don't have the body of Miss Elvis yet. So tell me legally how that presents a challenge to the prosecution and the defense.
Well, what you have to assume in this situation, and again, this is just an assumption because they have not laid out the facts, is that they have a lot of information related to the death of Miss Elvis, meaning that there may be DNA evidence, there may be witness testimony, there may be even some sort of confession or admission from the individuals who have been charged. But you have to get to a pretty high level of certainty to go ahead and charge without finding the body.
Indeed, that couple was originally charged with, I believe, indecent exposure as well as kidnapping charges. Then authorities upgraded those charges to murder. So obviously, police, investigators, they must have found something.
Right. Well, it's not uncommon that people will initially be charged with an obstruction of justice charge or some sort of minor charge, and that will really potentially open up the door to more charges, serving of search warrants, things like that, based off the arrests that they already have. And then, of course, the more serious charges come later once they discover more evidence.
As we said, Heather's body has still not yet been recovered. Is it going to prove difficult for the prosecution to get a guilty conviction out of these two when it does go to trial?
Believe it or not, there's a lot of cases that have happened over the years where they actually never find the body and the person has still been found guilty. It's definitely a hurdle. However, if there's a lot of physical evidence, in some ways it could play back on the defense and essentially say that, the only reason the body isn't here is because this person moved it and got rid of it. And then, they've basically been starving the family of their final closure with the, the deceased. And that can play against you as well.
I'd like to draw a comparison, if I may, Counselor, between this case that we have, Heather Elvis, and then one here in Charleston County that still remains unsolved. Gail McCaffrey, she of course worked at the Citadel. She hasn't been seen in a great long while now, and people kind of pointed the finger at her husband for doing this. Sheriff Al Cannon even said, we think this is our guy, we just don't have the evidence to back it up. How come in Myrtle Beach they can go after the couple there when they don't have a body, as where in Gail McCaffrey's case we still don't have the body here either? What are the differences between those two cases?
Well, the big difference is going to be whatever the evidence they have. Every case is different. No matter what you're talking about, when I have people come in and they compare their situation to another person's they know of, you have to first understand that each fact scenario is different, even though the charges may be similar, or there may be some certain circumstances that are the same as another case. But no matter if you have the body, and you know exactly how the person died, or you can't find the person at all, it goes back to whether or not they can show the evidence and connect it to a certain person. They may be able to do it from a circumstantial level, but not have enough hard evidence to move forward with the actual murder charge or whatever it may be.
Okay, that couple back in Myrtle Beach, they have a bond hearing. It's scheduled for next month. Why wait so long in between?
Well, it could be a number of things. It could be that that's what their defense attorneys have asked for, to try to gather the evidence and get prepared for it. It has to go in front of the circuit court judge, so it may also be related to the scheduling of the court. But usually you're going to take a little bit of time because you don't want to go in there if you're not prepared on either side and then maybe get something that happens with the bond that you weren't looking for.
In your opinion, is there enough evidence to link those two, that couple in Myrtle Beach, to the disappearance and death of Heather Elvis?
Without knowing any of the specific evidence, what I can say is the police are very slow to act on making those charges. Essentially, they could go ahead and move forward with the charges they initially had and at any point bring back the murder charge. So the fact that they've gone ahead now and brought the murder charge, I think that shows that they feel like they have a substantial amount of evidence.
All right, we'll be following it for you here on Low Country Live and ABC News 4, and this man will be back to tell about it. Counselor, thanks so much for your time.
Thanks
really
for
do
having me.
appreciate it. More Low Country Live after the break. Stay with us.